Do you all remember Robyn Hood? I'm sure many of you have heard of Robyn Hood in one way or another. I mean, come on. Dude's been around since the 14th century. He's got a plethora of lore and history behind him and a very recognizable look. When the media announced that they were going to be doing a series based on Robyn Hood with a modern twist, many people were cautious because after all, modern is indeed code for garbage. But check this out. Here we have multiple iterations of Robyn Hood, and somewhere hidden in this picture is the modern take on it. Can you guess which one it is? Nice try here, and welcome to my 264 subscribers. I hope you're having an awesome day, and if you're not part of that 264, hope you're having a great day too. This modern retelling of Robyn Hood isn't something new. The news for this came out like a year ago, and people did not like the description on how it was going to handle and represent a character that has been around for hundreds of years. But sure enough, leave anything to the hands of fools and you'll get a modern spin on it eventually. I will state that taking something that is older and retelling it is an interesting idea, and I think this could really allow people that are in charge to be creative while still having core aspects of what makes the older stories important still prevalent in the show they want to make. On the flip side, doing something like what Robyn Hood did not show creativity in good faith, but just created a stinker of a show while using a recognizable name. They do this because they know if this show didn't have a big name attached, a name that people know, then this show would most likely not have been seen by many people. Now, I have seen this show and I will tell you, if you're curious about it, I would watch someone like Heels vs. Babyface's review on it or Despereau's, because this show is truly horrendous. I don't know if you guys seen Naomi, but good grief, is this on that level or worse? But surely this show can't be bad. After all, it's a modern retelling. So if the show isn't the problem, then it has to be racist. Because of course it does. Director X, the guy in charge of this malignant monstrosity, is blaming fans for review bombing his show. Director X addresses Robyn Hood series being rating bombed. Director X called out racist rating bombing his new show, Robyn Hood. On Monday, the legendary director took to Instagram to bring awareness to the bigoted phenomenon. The post featured a lengthy caption and a detailed clip running through how deeply the alleged hatred for the show and black people run. From the moment Robyn Hood was announced it was going to be in production, these goons have been making YouTube videos and tweeting about the show. He typed, angry that it was a black woman playing Robyn Hood. Then they made more videos when we announced the show's release date, and now that the show is out rating bombing the IMDb page. This is what these people have time to do. Okay, a couple things. He says that people are just angry that Robyn Hood is being played by a black woman. Well, last time I checked, Robyn Hood was a white dude, but never mind that. So you made your show and decided to not only gender swap, but race swap your main character. People have the right to be very suspicious of this show right off the bat, because most race changes or gender changes have resulted in it not sitting well with the fans of the original characters. And then he goes on to say that people would just review bomb his show because of that, and that it has to do with race. No, Director X. It only takes 10 minutes of the first episode to realize this show's writing is terrible. And if somehow people sat down and watched this entire episode, the rating that is on IMDb is about as accurate as you can get. But is it possible that there are some people out there just review bombing just because Robyn Hood is now a black girl? I mean, sure, that's a possibility, I guess, but it can't account for the majority. And I'm willing to bet the viewership for this show will be abysmal. Now, he has a video released pointing out different channels that have covered this and saying that these guys are just racist and that they hate black people and that all these channels are trying to make this about race. But the irony is, this guy is the one making everything about race. He literally changed a white male character to a black woman. Oh, and there's this as well. Here is an image of the cast for this show. Can you guess which one are the bad guys? If you said the only white people in this picture, then you would be correct. And he was in a bit of a back and forth with this channel called Ryan Kinnell, and Ryan pointed out contradictions that this guy made multiple times. If you want to see more details for that, go check out his channel. But one of his responses I want to cover is this one. This guy, Director X, tweets this. Okay, bud, it's an obvious bombing. Even if these people actually watch the show, you all act like what is in front of your face isn't happening. This guy, Director X, said the people were review bombing even if they didn't see the show. But then in the next sentence, he says, even if people watched the show, they still review bombed it? What? Okay, so you're saying that even if someone sat down, gave the show a fair shake, and didn't like it, you still think those people are review bombing? That's not review bombing. That's giving an accurate score from that individual on a show they just had the misfortune of watching. I honestly think this guy could have handled this whole situation better. Imagine if after all these reviews came in and he looked at them, maybe he could have reflected. Because are there trolls out there? Of course. It wouldn't be the internet without them. But there's also people giving proper criticism. And if you came out and were acknowledging some of that criticism and saying something along the lines of, I don't know, we made something and thought it was great, but it looks like the majority of people didn't feel the same way on a certain thing that we were handling, and we'll do some course correcting moving forward. But thank you all anyways for at least checking out the show in the first place. Not that exactly, but something showing some humility, showing some accountability, showing some responsibility would have been better than playing the victim card and race card. At the end of the day, people want to be entertained, not lectured while watching a show, or the show pushing certain topics that have nothing to do with that character. If you wanted to change up the characters in the show, that's obviously your choice, but you could have at least hired competent writers. You didn't get a 1.1 on IMDb because people are racist. You got that score because, and this might be difficult to grasp, but maybe, just maybe, the show is not good, and instead of using this failure as a stepping stone to do better for next time, or show some class, you decided to double down and call fans racist for your failure to execute a good show. But what do you all think about this whole situation? Do you think Director X has a point? Do you think he's out of line? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them down below. If you like the video, and if you like this type of content and want to see more, why not consider subscribing? Thanks for watching the video, and until we meet again.